Joining us now, as he does every Monday at 4, Donovan McNabb. Donovan, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Big Five. What's up, brother?
What's happening? What's happening? New life. Let's go.
So,
okay, flush it.
Do you think it was a mistake for the Eagles not to play their starters yesterday?
I didn't. I said it last week that I felt like they should have played at least the first half of the game.
Yeah.
And obviously what we had understood and knew by when the game was going on of just the magnitude of it, that should have been telling of right there. If you want home field advantage, pretty much throughout the playoffs until the NFC Championship possibly, then you do what you're supposed to do. I mean, we don't have guys that are banged up and, kind of on the verge of possibly, playing or not playing or whatever it may be. I mean, I know that Jalen Carter was a guy that came back for the Buffalo game, and, yeah, you might want to decide to rest him, but we should have played our starters definitely in that first half of the first half of that game, especially offensively, because we haven't established ourselves offensively to be able to just sit out and think everything's going to be cleaned up.
Can you speak to as a guy who has played and won a lot of playoff games? Can you speak to the difference between playing a playoff game at home and having to play a playoff game on the road?
Well, you have your own fans there, and the adrenaline that we all feed off of from our fans is special. And who doesn't want to play in their own stadium come playoff time all throughout the playoffs? And I think that was something that we all understood as players with Andy established that, hey, our goals were, number one, to obviously win the division. 2 is to get a first-round bye. And then 3 was to represent home field advantage at our facility. And so if that's not part of your goals, then what are we doing? And so I just think for Nick's in a position right now where I think he understands the backlash of it, and he's just trying to stand strong on, kind of what he decided to do. But I think if he had a chance to do it all over again, he would play his players.
I know the game ultimately doesn't matter moving forward. They're going to play San Francisco coming up Sunday. But I love your thoughts on what did you think about Tanner and how he played out there yesterday?
I thought he did some good things. I know that the fans were asking for him to play during the middle of the season because they felt like it was, Jalen that was holding us back or whatever it may be. But I didn't see anything that wowed me. I thought he was in a position where he made some plays when he was called upon, some mistakes that he made that I'm sure he would love to have back. But I seen a guy that was prepared, and he was just, excited for the moment. Now, what did that look like? I mean, obviously we didn't win the game, and, a lot of key factors into that. But, I give him a lot of credit for being in this position and being called upon to step in there. Was glad to see that Devontae got his 1,000-yard receiving. But you put Devontae out there and don't have all his guys out there, kind of was a little questioning to me. So I just give credit to all the guys that played, and those guys who sat out. It's time to step up because believe me, San Francisco's not going to be an easy task from what they've been able to do offensively. At this particular point, defensively, they're moving. I don't know if their middle linebacker will be back. I've heard rumblings that he possibly will be back for this game, and I'm sure Kittles and as well as Trent will be back as well. So they're coming in this thing fully loaded, and we have to be as well.
Donovan, Ike, I thought made a good point earlier, and you're saying that now too. It's up to the Eagles now, the players, to make the decision from. The team did not play them look good. One of the only argument I think you could make is the offensive line, and I agree with you that they should have played. The offensive line has just not been as effective, and I think part of that has to be, what they had to go through last year, and that you hope that giving them this week off can give a little bit of juice to an offensive line that has just not been nearly as good as they have been in past years.
Well, there's ways of looking at it, and for a coach's standpoint, I'm sure he'll say, "Hey, one week won't get it better from what it is," but they'll have a chance to to be able to get things corrected by sitting back and being able to practice on it an extra week or whatever it may be. But from a player standpoint, Ike's absolutely right. I mean, it's time for them to put up a shut-up because you can either make your coach right or make your coach be wrong. And so if they don't play well in this first game, and San Francisco comes out, blazing, then that's going to make all the decisions that he's made up until this particular point this season look like the wrong decision. And so for all coaches on the staff, for all the players, this is their time to be able to, defend their coach and do it the right way and be able to establish themselves, as a playoff team. And I think for the football team that I've seen thus far, remember, I kind of referred to them as being kind of like the Giants when Eli got on his run in the playoffs. They weren't very good from different standpoints throughout the season, if it was offensively or special teams or defense. But when they got in the playoffs, they were able to put things together, and I think that can actually happen for us this playoff run.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about this matchup. I kind of like the matchup against San Francisco because it is at home and we got the defense that we have. How do you view this matchup and how we're playing right now compared to what the 49ers look like right now?
Well, how we playing right now? Defensively, defensively, yeah, I like the matchup. I think this is going to be one of those matchups I think that's going to be really big for Adore Jackson. He's got to step up because I think what you're going to start to see is you're going to see Kittles and their wide receiving core trying to pressure the number 2 and 3 defensive backs as well as the linebackers and safeties. And so they're going to have to cover. And so what does that mean? That means Cooper DeJean is going to have to play big on the inside, and Adore Jackson is going to have to play big outside because we know what Mitchell is going to bring to it. But what Kyle Shanahan does is he attacks your number 2 and 3. And so, and then he's going to attack your linebackers. And so with him saying that, because Christian McCaffrey becomes such a major part in the passing game, the middle of the football field has to be protected. And so that's something that I think defensively they're going to have the challenges with. Now, as far as our offense is concerned, the thing that has been kind of their Achilles heel ever since their linebacker went out was their run defense. And we haven't been running the football effectively. And so will this be the game that we all of a sudden get things kind of changed up to be able to open up the holes for Saquon and take the run through and be able to explode for explosive plays? And then another thing I think works in our favor if we do it right and we get things cleaned up is they don't create a lot of pass rush from San Francisco. That's something that they've struggled with this year ever since Bosa got hurt. Once Bosa got hurt, they haven't had consistent pass rush. So our passing game, at least we'll have time, but we just have to be able to get open on the back end.
Which team do you think has the better quarterback?
Well, obviously I'm a defend our guy, Jalen.
Well, I'm asking for your objective analysis, though.
Well, I will say this, and I think when it comes to consistent playoff play, I'm going to go with Jalen and what he brings to the table with his legs. But I will say this, that Brock has brought a different facet to the game that we haven't seen consistently over the years, and that's his ability to be able to create with his legs. And I think that's something that our defense can't turn their back on when he gets outside the pocket on bootlegs and half rolls, because he will pick up 10 to 12 yards with his legs. And now that kind of adds where those interior part of the defense now got to come to try to stop Brock, and then he'll be able to hit over the top. But I just think with the experience that we have over the last couple of years, I'll give Jalen the advantage.
I think it's an interesting matchup of what's his name? Shanahan versus Fangio as well, because Shanahan, has been able to be successful with a lot of different quarterbacks there in San Francisco, and Fangio, of course, that one of the best, if not the best, defensive coordinator in the NFL. And I think the matchup of those two guys is a really interesting chess match between those two.
I wouldn't say it's more of those two. I would say more of the defensive coordinator and our offensive coordinator.
So Saleh versus Petula.
I would say Saleh and Petula. I would say Kyle because Kyle's going to come up with creative opportunities for Brock to be successful.
Yeah.
And if Vic decides to play that zone defense, it works. It kind of almost works in their favor. I've been in that offense where Kyle's running, and if you're just going to sit and play zone, he's just going to dink and dunk you to death to be able to create over the top. It's more Robert Saleh versus Kevin Petula, because we got to find ways to motion and shift to get guys in creative mismatches so that now we can attack them.
All right, Donovan, one last question, a general NFL question, because it has been hotly debated across the country. Who do you think is the NFL MVP this year? You know, it was Stafford was the favorite for a while. Then after last week, May became the favorite. Now Stafford is the favorite again. If you had a vote, who would you vote for?
Be honest with you, I would pick Drake May. And I love what Matthew Stafford has done with 40-plus touchdowns and really getting those guys going over there. But you got a quarterback that's in his second season, has made probably the biggest jump of a lot of different quarterbacks that have played over the years. Number two, they won that division. Who would have thought that they would have been in this position at this particular point with Josh Allen in that division?
Sure.
Now, we can say Matthew Stafford has done great job over there statistically, but they didn't win that division. Seattle won that division, and Seattle beat them, and so did San Fran. And so it's a lot of key factors that go into it. I think a lot of people get happy about the numbers or whatever, but you got to give a lot of credit to the young quarterback out in New England. Drake May has done a wonderful job all season.
Absolutely. I think it'll be a close vote. It'll be interesting to see who ends up winning it. Yep.
It should be.
Well, Donovan, thanks as always. Hopefully when we're talking to you on Monday, we're not doing the eulogy for the season. Hopefully we're talking about the next game. So,
first of all, I haven't heard Ike but one question. Did he get his coffee? What's going on?
I'm good.
I got two questions.
You got
answered.
on me getting the sexy voice last week.
Yeah.
I ain't heard you at all.
But you answered with so much depth. You basically need to ask you more questions. You gave full answers. I didn't know what else to ask.
I had to give you a little bit more. Last week, last week I was getting my nails done, so I can't be talking loud in the nail salon.
Is that what was happening?
Full disclosure.
Oh, that is so good.
And toward the end, I was out of there, so that's when I gave you all the good stuff. But I was just finishing up getting my nails done,
As soon as we started comparing you and Roxy, that's when you knew you needed to get up out of the nail salon. All right, Donovan.
That's awesome.
We'll talk to you next week.
All right, broski.
All right, no problem.
All right, there he is, Donovan.